Hello, Tar Heel Nation. Welcome to another episode of UNC Hoops Talk. Yes. Thank you. I am your host, Dan DeWitt. I'm so glad that you've chosen to either watch or listen to this, either on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, a number of different places, on the blog as well. Just glad that you are here and that you are a Tar Heel fan. That needs to be celebrated every time and every day. So I'm going to talk, obviously, about the Miami and Georgia Tech games just a little bit, hit on those, go into the stats as we usually do about past games. And then, of course, as the title suggests, we are previewing the second matchup against Duke. Yes, I know. I'll try to censor out that word as much as I can in this podcast so that you don't have to hear me say it any more than is necessary. And then towards the end, we're going to just take a brief look at bracketology. Last podcast, I told you I don't like to look too quickly into that stuff because it changes so much. But we will take a look at where Joe Lunardi of ESPN has us as of now, and what could possibly happen with wins or losses and that stuff as we go forward. And then stay towards the end. To the end, I have a little giveaway. Nothing big, but could be pretty special to the right person. So please stick around and check that out and see. It's not going to be a big contest or anything like that, but check that out at the end of this podcast as well. Little incentive to stick around, I guess. So yeah, let's jump right in. Of course, this is the podcast for the fans by a fan, and just appreciate everybody coming along with the ride and doing this with me. If it was just me talking, it would not be nearly as good as having you guys with. So Miami would go on the road, get a nice road win against Miami. Played pretty well, ended up with a 9-point win, 73-64. They did not have, I believe their best player has been out, and then now their second best player, at least second least scorer, whatever, Angel Rodriguez, only played 3 minutes, really didn't do anything against us. So, people are talking about that as we win. But as we know, with injuries and everything else, you got to play with who is there, who is available, and do what you can. It's not like we haven't had injuries or that excuse as well, and I don't feel like we've really used that. So not going to accept that one against us as well. Like I said, nice game. We had 4 of our starters in double figures. Bryce Johnson leading the way, 22 points, 11 rebounds in 30 minutes, shot 11 for 15. Weird thing now that I'm looking at the stats is only shot 1 free throw, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, he was pretty dominant down low, was hitting jumpers, bringing their big guys away from the basket. We were getting out and running a little bit better, which you guys know if you've listened to this podcast is necessary. And if you watched UNC basketball, it's not like I had that epiphany on my own. But Marcus Page, 17 points, just 2 assists to 1 turnover, 3 3-pointers, shot 3 for 6 from three-point land. And then Justin Jackson had 11 points, 4 rebounds. JP Tokoto, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 turnovers, 4 steals though. Got out and got some fast break layups and dunks, and obviously got the rebound. I think rebounding, and they've kind of talked about this in the media. Him and Justin kind of switched. Justin's been playing the 2, JP's been playing the 3, and Justin even said in the post game after the Georgia Tech game, the only real difference is on, well, I guess offense transitioning into defense. The 2-man, if the 1-man's not back, it's the 2-man's responsibility to get back so they don't get a breakout. And the 3-man can crash the boards a little bit more. So that, I think that helped. He had 3 offensive rebounds, but just getting him in the mentality of rebounding with his strength, with his jumping ability, needs to be rebound. His ability, he can rebound. So that was, big for us. He's him and Bryce, 11 and 10 rebounds right there. Other than that, we had Kennedy at 5, Marcus at 1, Justin at 4, Joel James at 3, Isaiah at 2, and Joel Berry had 1 rebound. So, those 21 rebounds were half of our rebounds right there between JP and Bryce. So something that needs to continue for him. We did have 15 turnovers, 16 assists. We only allowed them to have 6 offensive rebounds, which is good for us, big for us. We forced them into 13 turnovers. Not a whole lot. I mean, we shot decent. We shot 45%, 46% from three-point land. Same, actually, from field goals overall. Held them to 26% three overall in the game, which we know we can struggle against teams in the three. So that's big. Really the rotation was kind of cut down. We had 4 guys with 30 or more minutes the game. The only starter that didn't was Kennedy at 27. Off the bench, we had Joel Berry at 15, Joel James with 13, Isaiah Hicks at 10, and kind of I stand corrected here. And I kind of called Joel James out. Obviously, he must be a listener of the podcast or something. I called him out early in the season that he shouldn't be getting those minutes. He's not producing enough. But the last few games, not even just Miami and Georgia Tech, but going back to the Duke game, he was productive. Defensively, not as much of a liability. Offensively, hitting some shots. I mean, here he scored 6 points. Kennedy Meeks only had 4 points. So he's been hitting that turnaround jumper. I mean, he's always been shooting it, but he's been hitting it, it's just been a difference. And Bryce had a breakout game, and I think the media kind of asked Roy after this game about is he more consistent and stuff, and we'll get into that Georgia Tech game. Obviously not as consistent as we'd like or as he should be, whatever you want to say. But the other difference is Nate Britt only played 4 minutes, and I didn't hear anything in the broadcast about injury, sickness, doing something wrong or whatever, but played 4 minutes in this game. I mean, he was getting up to mid-20s, and we kind of said he started hitting he hit a game with 4 or 5 threes, and he's kind of our second shooter, and now he got 4 minutes in this game. I don't know. It was more in the Georgia Tech game when we look at those stats. Obviously, we'll look at that, but 4 minutes in this game. Joel Berry is from Florida. I heard somebody say maybe it's because it's kind of a home game for Joel that he got more minutes. Maybe he's trying to work Joel back into the rotation a little bit quicker. But I mean, that was crazy that he only had 4 minutes in a game like this. He's been our backup point guard. So maybe the question is, who should be our backup point guard? I think I've kind of stated and made my opinion known. But who do let me know on social media, email, on comments in this video, whatever. Are you more comfortable, maybe is a better way to say, with Joel in there or Nate? Or maybe you'd rather have all three, Marcus, Nate, and Joel in there. But let me know. I'd like to hear the majority's opinion and you guys' opinion on that. So yeah, nice road win on Miami. Needed it to keep going after that 4th spot in the ACC, the double bye seed in the ACC tournament. But let's transition over into Georgia Tech a little bit. And if you do hear anything in the background, my son is waking up, but I promise he's okay. And nothing's wrong with him, I promise. He's just kind of waking up. But Georgia Tech, easy win. We go there. It's our biggest win against Georgia Tech at their place. I think they even said biggest win against Georgia Tech in quite some time. A lot of guys saw minutes, a lot of balanced scoring. Worked a lot of guys back, even though it wasn't very much. Theo Pinson got a couple minutes. And Luke Davis got a couple minutes. Let's see, who else do we got? Stillman White got a few minutes, and we can go through this. So Luke Davis this is 1 minute. I think it was more than that, but less than 2, I guess you'd say. Stillman White got 3 minutes, and Theo Pinson got 2 minutes. And still in those 2 minutes, Theo got 3 shots up, hit 2 of them, 5 points for us, and hopefully, it's tough coming with Duke. This next game could be the first game kind of with significant minutes, but that's tough. But hopefully he can get back to the stride where he was. It didn't look like it took Joel Berry that long after his injury to kind of get back to where he was. We'll see, what Theo can do for us. But as far as leading us, Joel Berry actually led us in scoring, 15 points, hit 3 out of 5 threes, played 20 minutes. Justin Jackson was actually the only other guy with double figures in scoring, 13 points, had 5 rebounds, played 29 minutes. Marcus was the only one to hit 30. He had exactly 30 minutes. Marcus had 7 points, only took 6 shots. JP had 8 points, 6 rebounds. Bryce, kind of said he wasn't consistent. He only had 2 points, 1 for 9 shooting. I don't know really what the difference is. He did contribute with 4 blocks, had 9 rebounds. He was pretty active defensively, but I don't know what. Again, it's as a junior, he needs to be more consistent. He is. A lot of people will say he is the X factor for us. And there was a stat, I don't remember what it was, but this is like the first time we've won a conference game where he didn't score in double figures. So very important guy for our team. Let's see, Kenny Meeks, 8 points, 5 rebounds. Again, guys played less minutes. It was pretty balanced. Nate Britt actually ended up with 9 points in this game. He did play 14 minutes, shot 3 for 6, hit a 3, looked confident shot, 2 assists to 0 turnovers. And we did only have 11 turnovers, 17 assists. We had 8 blocks, which is quite a bit for us. 11 steals, hit 6 threes, and the good part about that is 4 different guys hit. Joel Berry hit 1, Theo hit 1, Nate and Marcus hit 1. Not a lot to say about that game. We won easily, as we should have. And again, another important game because it keeps us intact for that 4th seed. And I guess, I don't know, it's a little out of order what I said, but as far as bracketology, well, not even bracketology, but just looking at the ACC tournament rankings, we are tied for 4th right now with Louisville. Simplest way to put it is if Louisville loses to Virginia on Saturday, we get the 4th seed, win or lose against Duke. If we both win, then they would get the 4th seed because the tiebreaker would go to how we played against Virginia, and they would have beaten them. We lost to them. If we both lose, as far as I understand it, we would get the 4th seed because they would look at Virginia. We both lost to Virginia. They'd look at Duke. Gosh, I think they would maybe get it if we lost too. I'll have to check on that, and somebody can help me out there. I thought it was if they lost to Louisville, whether we win or lose, we would get it. But I'm not so sure right now as I think about it because we would have lost to Duke twice. I don't think Louisville beat Duke, though. So then maybe it goes to Notre Dame. Yeah, I don't know. It gets a little more fuzzy if we both lose. So obviously, best scenario, we beat Duke, they lose to Virginia, we get the 4th seed. But that is the best we can do as a 4th seed, and the 6th seed is the worst, or 5th seed is the worst that we can do. If we do lose out to it, we won't drop lower than 5th. But it also goes into whether we play Wednesday or Thursday next week in the ACC tournament. So Roy will never say it, and of course he doesn't care too much about the ACC tournament anyway. But the 4th seed would be nice, I think, to get the extra rest for those guys coming back. Get into Thursday before we play. But yeah, we can't control all that. Obviously, we can't control any of that. The guys can only control what they can. We go out and beat Duke, and we'll be okay, whether we end up 5th or not. So 5th or 4th. So jumping in, obviously, to the majority of this podcast, or at least the important stuff, is the Duke game. Sorry, I'll do it better. The Duke game. So I don't know about you guys. My opinion is kind of changed, or outlook. I was pretty down. I didn't really think we had a chance to beat Duke the first time. Obviously, we did. We should have won the game. We talked about that already. You can go back and see the Duke recap. But this time around, I don't know. I have this different kind of confidence. I don't know if it's getting some of those guys back. Our depth is bigger, or just the way we played them the first time. That Okafor didn't kill us the first time. I feel pretty confident that if we kind of do a lot of the same things with the same intensity that we did last time, we're okay as far as stopping Okafor goes. Winslow still worries me. A little bit dirtier than I thought. He didn't kill us the first time, but he's been playing well since. I don't really like our matchup with him. And then Tyus Jones, obviously we saw at the end of that game, he's the one that made the plays with little help from holding and fouling from Winslow, but we're not going to get into that here. We did that in the recap. You can go back and listen to that. But he did make some big plays, and so we got to make sure we contain him better. And then, of course, guarding the three, which has always been an issue for UNC. And a little side note, I've said this before, I don't know if it was on the podcast or just talking to people, but I think our biggest issue with guarding the three is that we help so much on the drive, we can't recover and they get open threes. Not that we shouldn't help guys if they're getting beat, but I think we haven't helped before they're beat and help too far down, and then we can't recover to that three. I don't think it's going to change. I don't think Roy's going to change his system or anything like that. He would rather, give them the three than give them layups and stuff like that. So I don't see it changing. But I do, as far as my 2 cents or my opinion, I think that's what it kind of comes down to. What we can do about that, I guess. I don't know. A lot of the haters out there, of course, would say get rid of Roy, but we're not going there. We're definitely not doing that. So kind of what is the key to beating Duke? Obviously, we have to do the same thing that we did against Okafor. We can't let him go wild or anything like that. Again, attack him, without just letting him block. Kennedy gets blocked too much, but if we get Isaiah, we get Bryce, if Kennedy gets him up in the air, pump fakes him, get him into foul trouble, obviously that'd be a big thing. Not letting Emil Jefferson have such an effect offensively or even defensively, or leaving him so wide open on giving him anything on offense is something that we need to do. Our biggest thing would be containing Tyus Jones and containing the three, not letting anybody go off from three, Quinn Cook or anything like that. Not helping so much. I wouldn't mind giving up a layup here or there if we're guarding the three better. I think most people would agree with that. I don't know that Roy is one of them. So we got to guard the three. Got to get the Dean Dome rocking. If you haven't heard, it is game day. There are a lot of details about getting free for game day. So it should be a great atmosphere. It's obviously Duke-UNC game. There should be plenty of hype from both teams. But we got to get the Dean Dome rocking in our favor. We can't let the three ball or let Okafor quiet the Dean Dome down, quiet the students down, anything like that. So that's, I don't know. Again, I have this weird confidence. I don't know if it's not justified or however you want to say that, but I think Joel can help us the way he's been playing. He's been knocking down shots. Nate stays confident. I mean, we can really get out and run at them and hopefully tire them down. They play a lot of minutes. Quinn Cook plays a lot of minutes. Tyus, a lot of those guys have been playing a lot of minutes. If we can wear them down, it's getting to the end of the season. Just wear them down. I think that would help us a lot. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I think we can. I know we can win. I think everybody saw that in the first matchup, but for whatever reason, not that I want to predict it or anything, I don't want to jinx anything like that, but I'm most afraid of them going up from three. I'm not as scared as Okafor as I was the first time going in. So we just got to stop them. As far as stepping up for us, Justin's got to have a better game than he did the first matchup. And then Joel steps up, and if Marcus is who Marcus is, he's got to play better than he did last time. He's got to be more into the game than the first matchup with Duke. But other than that, if he's normal, Justin gets back to where he's been. Joel steps in and helps us. I like our chances. Maybe that's the best way to put it. I'm not scared of Duke. Not that I ever was, I guess, but bad choice of words there. So yeah, pumped. It's it's hate Duke week. Sorry, hate Duke week. I'll get better at that. I promise. It's coming. So, and it's also beat Duke week, and yeah, I guess that's about all I got to say. I like our chances. If we come out and play the way we did the first time, and guys step up, okay, and it could be a good game for us if we can get in the same position as last time, and then obviously finish. That's that could give us a lot of confidence going into the ACC tournament and the NCAA tournament. So I guess that's what I have to say of that. Other details as far as the Duke game go, like I said, it's game day. We better show out. There was one lame game day I was watching. I don't remember where it was, but it looked pathetic. We better have a lot of guys out there, fans, rub it in, Jay Billis and Jay Williams and Seth Green's face how good of an atmosphere we can have. But I forgot to mention the first Duke game, but Dickie V obviously wasn't on the call. He's not on the call again this time. First year he's not been on it in like 36 years, which I thought was a good thing. You guys already heard my rant about Jay Billis in the recap, so I won't go into that. But hopefully it's not as bad this game. Hopefully it gives us a little credit. He jumps off the back of his alma mater and is a little bit more unbiased. We don't need a biased Billis at this game. Maybe because it's at our place. Maybe he won't be. Yeah, so look forward to that, of course. I don't know. Let me know what how you feel against Duke. Maybe a little more scared because they're going to be ready since we played them so tight the first game. They want to kill Jackson Simmons' senior night or whatever. I don't know. Let me know how you're feeling. Maybe give me a prediction as far as that's going. But yeah, love hearing from you guys. I don't know if I said it before. The best, if you any way you want to get in contact with me, all those links are in the description. Look below this video or this recording, wherever you're listening this. Email, all of that is down below. So check that out. Get in touch with me. Love hearing from as many Tar Heels fans as I can that are willing to. So yeah, transitioning from that into bracketology. I just actually looked at I looked a couple days ago, and I didn't think it would change because not a ton of games have been going on. But we didn't change seed lines, but we did change kind of where we're at. So when I looked a couple days ago, Joe Lenardi has it a 5 seed in the West region, which was Villanova, who is the 1 seed in that region. And we would have played, I think it was Northern Iowa was the 4 seed there. So if we would have won the first game, I don't remember who the first game was against. I think it was a play-in game even. But if we would have, won that, we played Northern Iowa, and then Villanova would have been the 1 seed, which we've had some good games and good luck against Villanova. I like that. If we're going to play a 1 seed, I'd like it to be Villanova. Well, I looked today, I refreshed it. Right now we're a 5 seed in the Midwest, which is Kentucky's bracket. So if right now he has us up against Louisiana, no, he's got us up against Murray State, and if we'd win, Baylor is the 4 seed. And if we won that, Kentucky is the 1 seed. So obviously, don't like that bracket as much. Again, I've told you guys, excuse me, I don't like to get into bracketology too quick, too early. I think that, this is about the time I start paying attention to it because, we got 1 game, we got ACC tournament. You can start to kind of project what will happen or what would happen if we win, lose, that kind of stuff. I think I said last podcast, I don't see us dropping below a 6. Of course, we've had some unfortunate seed lines before where we dropped to like a 7 when I thought we should have been a 5 or a 6. Obviously, a 6 wouldn't be a horrible. We'd play a 3 in the second round, and then either a 2 or so in the third round. At least we're staying away from the 1 seed as long as we can. But I think unless we lose to Duke, we lose bad, or we lose pretty early in the ACC tournament, I don't see us dropping below a 6 really. If we beat Duke, if we win a game, 2 games in the ACC tournament, depending how we look, I think we could still get up to a 4 seed. Obviously, if we beat Duke, went to the championship, or even won the ACC tournament, it's hard to see us at a 3 line. It's possible, I guess. Get up to a 3, so somewhere between a 3 and a 6. Again, I wouldn't mind if we went to, I don't know, obviously I'd like to get out of Kentucky's bracket. Not that I don't think we can. I think we can beat them. We played them okay the first time. We weren't playing well, that's for sure. But yeah, that's as far as what I see. We'll keep an eye on that. See what the committee gives us. Of course, we're probably going to be in Kansas. I just thought of that. We'll be in Kansas bracket somewhere. Right now, Kansas is a 2 seed out in the East. which is Virginia's the one in that bracket. So we'll see there. But if we can, stay away from Kentucky until we have to, that's better. And I don't know how you guys are feeling about the chances of North Carolina going deep into this tournament. My preseason prediction was that we had to get to the Elite Eight, and then if obviously we get to the Final Four, that would be awesome. And beyond that, I've kind of curtailed that a little bit. And realistically, I think our expectations for this team should be Sweet 16. If we get to the Elite Eight, awesome. And then hey, hopefully we upset somebody and get into the Final Four. Should be great. Of course, that's what I'm cheering for and stuff like that. But Sweet 16 is where we have to get, is what I'm saying, for this to be even a good season for us. Again, let me know what you think. Maybe you think I'm selling them short. Maybe you don't even think we're going to meet the Sweet 16. Email me or tweet me. Leave a comment what you think about that. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to cover. The Duke preview, the big matchup against the Duke preview. What I see happening and expect out of that game and going forward as far as that's concerned. So we'll see Saturday whether we're going to be playing on Wednesday or Thursday next week in the ACC tournament. The podcast here, I will have one the beginning of next week, but then I am actually gone and on the road during the ACC tournament. I'm going to try to obviously watch as much as I can. So I'll still get one in every week, but it'll be kind of late following the ACC tournament, especially if we lose early. It'll be late following our game. But after Selection Sunday, which is coming quickly, only 2 Sundays away, hopefully you're excited about that. If you're not, you're at the wrong place. You listen to the wrong podcast. But after Selection Sunday, we'll get in for sure another podcast before the NCAA tournament. Of course, we'll have the Duke recap next week and looking towards the ACC tournament as far as the Tar Heels are concerned. So as I said before, I do want to finish up. I have a small little giveaway. I don't really have a contest. Pretty much, if you're interested, let me know. And, whoever's the most invested in this podcast, I will ship it to you. If obviously it helps to be subscribed. If you're supporting the podcast, helps even more. But again, tweet me. It's at AllTarHeelDan. You can email me, unchoopstalk@gmail.com. Leave a comment on the blog, unchoopstalk.blogspot.com. Leave a comment on YouTube, Google+, wherever you're connected with me. Leave a comment that you would like it, and I will definitely pick somebody out. If you're subscribed to the podcast, if you've chatted with me in the past, whoever invested in me in this podcast the most, or at least reasonably, is who I will pick. But and this comes courtesy, I got to give a shout out on Twitter. It is at Rising Heel, and I will put his link to his Twitter in the description below. But at Rising Heel, it's at Rising_Heel on Twitter. But he's the one that actually sent it to me. I did not get it to me, so hopefully he's okay. I got a couple of them, but hopefully he's okay me giving it away. But I think that's why he gave it to me. It's not like I'm giving the only one he gave me, but if you were not able to go to the memorial for Dean Smith, or the celebration really is what they call it, the celebration of Dean's life, he sent me this program they were handing out there. And I have one for my collection, which I was thrilled. It was awesome for him to send it to me. But if you would like that, again, leave a comment. I will pick somebody out and send that to you. You don't have to pay anything. I'll pay the shipping. No big deal. I'll get that out to you. But let me know. Other than that, I'm so glad that you watched or listened to this podcast, that you are riding along this season with the Tar Heels and with me. And that's all I got. Connect with me like I said, on social media. All those links are in the description below, or leave a comment if you have problems with that. I will help you out for sure. But that's all I got. Signing off here. I am your host, Dan DeWitt. This is the UNC Hoops Talk podcast, the podcast for the fans by a fan. Until next week, go Heels and beat Duke.